Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call 'em blue, the way you be cluing. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call 'em blue, the way you be cluing. Have we had enough of your lies for one night? Have we felt enough of our pain to know it's real? How do you feel? Sick and tired of the lies, all I'm feeling is the pain. It's the devil in disguise while I'm standing in the rain. Water pouring from the sky, but you tell me the opposite. Like I don't have a consciousness, like I'm stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking. But we don't do that, I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back. But if you have a heart attack, then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA, acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Who's the job bent from playing segregation all the same? They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children then. When it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the light, but still I feel that. Ladies and gentlemen, the show we have for you this evening is a show that I never expected I would be having to talk about a subject quite like this. This is something that I've never seen. Now, I've only been alive 17 years on this earth. Plenty of y'all have been alive on this earth far longer than I have. And I can say with certainty that none of you have ever seen anything quite like this either. Only thing that even comes close is Watergate with Nixon. I don't know how many of my viewers were around for that, or at least conscious for it, but I know that was pretty crazy. Some big criminal stuff in the news. That had some basis to it. Right now, former President Trump is enduring one of the craziest witch hunts that didn't even look like a witch hunt, and has now received something just so insane that I sit here and wonder, once again, am I living on the real world, or am I plugged in somewhere in some sort of matrix where they're just running like some sort of multiplier to see how crazy things can get before the people within such simulations start to say, okay, this can't be real life, wake me up so I can go back to the real world where things aren't just insane and things don't sound like they're in a nightmare scenario. Well, I can't pull the cord out of my neck. It seems like we're all stuck in this together, so we might as well enjoy it and have a little bit of fun. President Trump has been raided by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. This is real. This is real life, ladies and gentlemen, at least as insofar as I can assume it to be. This is from the Post-Millennial. This story is, I'm snapping. I'm pinching myself in the cheek. I'm not waking up. So this is the story. I'm going to leave the chat on so y'all can converse amongst yourselves. Let's check this out. 45th President Donald Trump released a statement on Monday saying that the FBI has raided his Florida home. Trump, who spoke at CPAC on Saturday in Dallas and in Kenosha, Wisconsin on Friday, said that his home is currently under siege, has been raided, and is being occupied by a large group of FBI agents. It was later reported that the FBI took 15 boxes of materials from the former president's residence. Let's keep going. Fox reported that more than 30 FBI agents raided the home and were not being judicious about what they took from the home. Trump was in New York at the time of the raid. It was also reported that the Department of Justice had advanced notice that the raid would be taking place. These are dark times for our nation, as my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI. After cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. It is reported by the New York Times that the search appeared to be focused on material that Mr. Trump had brought with him to Mar-a-Lago, which contained many pages of classified documents, according to a person familiar with their contents. The New York Times also reported that Mr. Trump delayed returning 15 boxes of material requested by officials with the National Archives for many months, only doing so when there became a threat of action being taken to retrieve them. CBS reported that the boxes of documents from the FBI took from Trump's home were not specifically related to January 6th. According to Fox, the raid occurred early Monday morning, and FBI agents brought a safe cracker and cracked a relatively new safe in Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. A source told the outlet there was nothing in it, at least at the time of their raiding. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024, especially based on recent polls, and who will likewise do anything to stop Republicans and conservatives in the upcoming midterms. Such an assault could only take place in broken, third world countries. Sadly, America has now become one of these countries, corrupt at a level not seen before. They even broke into my safe. What is the difference between this and Watergate, where operatives broke into the Democratic National Committee? Here, in reverse, Democrats broke into the home of the 45th President of the United States. Insane. Insane. Unprecedented and insane. He makes mention of Watergate as well, talking about how Democrats had their national committee broken into for something. Like I said, I don't even know all that much about it. This was way back before my time, and I made a little bit of mention to it, but this shows you how insane this is. That was back in, what, the 70s? Was Watergate way back then? Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think it's just like well over decades ago. And this is just a purely different time. So as you guys can see, I'm going to highlight some images from what happened just yesterday evening after the raid, well into the day. Jane Zirkle, who works with Steve Bannon at the War Room, was on the ground in Palm Beach, Florida, and captured these images of agents, police officers here at the scene, people driving by in Trump trucks, the media as well. But now we can get a closer look at some people who were being interviewed, carrying Trump flags, Trump trucks driving by. People were out there to support President Trump for obvious reasons. They put the tape over Pence. I love when they do that. I do. Supporters of President Trump outside Mar-a-Lago following FBI raid. This was a small crowd, but it did indeed grow as time went on. It got even bigger. More images, some folks down there. Obviously, large law enforcement presence as well. Fake news is CNN, but then it went on even to today. This afternoon at 1 p.m. local time, this was posted. Many more people showed up. There you go. Trucks parked. DeSantis. Group of men hold Blacks for Trump signs outside Mar-a-Lago following FBI raid. There you go. You can always count on them to be there. Huge crowds. Just insane things happening right now. So, of course, people are going to look at this and wonder, who else is involved in this? Who else knows at least a little bit about this? Maybe the White House knows a thing or two about this. The White House claims Biden was not briefed on FBI Trump Mar-a-Lago raid, though. Do they expect us to believe this? Well, let's hear what Karine Jean-Pierre has to say about this. During Tuesday's White House press conference, Karine Jean-Pierre said that President Biden had not been briefed ahead of the Monday FBI raid at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. In response to one reporter's question, Jean-Pierre said, no, the president was not briefed, was not aware of it. No one at the White House was given a heads up. That did not happen. Well, let's hear this.
The FBI has serving a search warrant on the former president's residence in Florida. Was the president or anyone at the White House aware of that search warrant, or has anyone at the White House or the president been briefed in the aftermath of that search warrant being executed?
No, the president was not briefed, was not aware of it. No, no one at the White House was given a heads up. No, that did not happen.
It's not easy to trust Karine Jean-Pierre after she lies to your face multiple times, but we can at least take her words at face value. In a follow-up question, the reporter asked whether the White House was concerned that the Department of Justice carried out politically motivated prosecution. The Justice Department conducts investigations independently, and we leave any law enforcement matters to them. It would not be appropriate for us to comment on any ongoing investigations. However, what she fails to realize, the Justice Department does, of course, serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. And it is not a good look at the current president, who is in direct opposition of the former president, to own the department that is literally sending agents to bust in doors and take documents and crack safes. Does it sound good to y'all? I can say that President Biden has been unequivocal since the campaign. He believes in the rule of law and the independence of the Justice Department investigations, that those investigations should be free from political influence, and he has held that commitment as president.
Stop the cap.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Jump here also noted a comment made by the president on January 7th, 2021, when he nominated Merrick Garland to be Attorney General. We need to restore the honor, the integrity of the independence of the Department of Justice in this nation that has been so badly damaged, and so many former leaders of that department in both parties have so testified and stated that I want to be clear to those who lead this department who you will serve. You won't work for me. You are not the president or the vice president's lawyer. Your loyalty is not to me. It's to the law, the Constitution. Oh, that's why it was so hard to read. This was Biden saying it. He says things in such a otherworldly manner that it's impossible to understand. The press conference comes just one day after Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence was raided by over 30 FBI. Agents were reportedly focused on materials that Trump had brought to the residence, which reportedly included pages of classified materials, 15 boxes of it, to be returned to officials at the National Archives. And of course, there's his comments there. These are dark times for our nation, of which I completely and totally agree. And there are some surprising people who agree about this as well, including Andrew Yang and Andrew Cuomo, the two Andrews. I didn't even realize their first names were both that. You're going to want to hear about this as we dig even further, but we'll be right back after some brief messages. This story gets crazier. Don't go anywhere. Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and welcome to the brand new one-of-a-kind commercial break. Here on the Chandler Crump channel, we pride ourselves on straight-talking nature, adherence to facts, resistance to media programming, and a loyalty to the red, white, and blue above all. These live shows are what I consider to be my job, and I only get paid on tips around here. So if you think I've done a good job or want to encourage me to do even better, then check out the description of this video and go to donorbox.org/support-Chandler. This is our donation processor and the one-stop shop to support all things Chandler. If you choose to, you can even have your name appear on stream to flaunt that you support our show. This is of course the illustrious Hall of Heroes bar above me. Another path to the Hall of Heroes is of course Cash App. My Cash App code is $ChandlerCR and is visible on every one of my streams. Thank you guys so much. Now, let's get back to the show. So, of course, just to give another shout out to our current Hall of Heroes members, Mary is our current one. If you'd like to join the Hall of Heroes for the month, make sure you check out the description down below and consider a one-time or monthly donation to support our content. Shout out to my folks over on Getter. Shove Your Vax is in the building. She says, F the FBI, 1986 here, which is funny. Shout out to my people here on YouTube as well. Y'all are really smashing that like button. We're at 36 right now. Let's see if we can make our way up to 50 before we wrap up on this part of the show. So make sure you smash that like button. But let's jump right back in because, oh man, Andrew Yang. Now, just to give you guys a quick refresher course on who Andrew Yang is, he ran for president as a Democrat in the 2020 cycle. He made some good waves. Obviously, he didn't make it very far, but he did make a lot of waves, and he's now starting his own political party, which I guess we'll probably talk about another time because I'm sure it'll make waves in some other way, probably as a major third party come 2024. But Andrew Yang has long since been a sort of, I wouldn't call him a moderate Democrat, but he's had very different views than the majority of other folks within that camp. So Andrew Yang tweets, I'm no Trump fan. I want him as far away from the White House as possible. Yeah, I can't agree about that one. But a fundamental part of his appeal has been that it's been him against a corrupt government establishment. This raid strengthens that case for millions of Americans who will see this as unjust persecution. And for that one, I could say,
Yep.
he knows what he's talking about. If there's one thing I could say, despite the fact he's an entrepreneur and didn't get very far in 2020, he seems to be a political sage in understanding just how well PR can make or break a presidential campaign. This is why so many people were urging Trump to announce his run in 2024 today or yesterday. There's nothing like a good old FBI raid to really kick a campaign into gear if you still want to campaign as an outsider or an enemy of the establishment, which Trump, without a doubt, after this, totally is. There is nothing that screams enemy of the establishment and a renegade more than the FBI pulling up at your house, being like, boom, 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 open up. Yeah, that's really gonna send a message right there. Let us in. This is the FBI.
It's no use!
Yeah, that's really what's gonna do it. He continues to say, it seems like this was authorized by a local judge and a particular FBI office without buy-in or notification of higher levels of government. But literally no one will believe that or make a distinction. It's probably bureaucratic, but it seems political. which could be true. We're going to read a little bit more into that judge who did that in just a bit, because that story is funny in and of itself. But let's get to the last little bit of Andrew Yang here. If they raided his home just to find classified documents he took from the White House, one legal expert noted, he will be re-elected president in 2024. Hands down. It will prove to be the greatest law enforcement mistake in history. That's a big reach right there. Mistake. Honestly, a lot of them law enforcement might actually vote for Trump, not even because of that, but just because he's the only one that's going to defend them. You guys remember what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing in 2020? They were decrying the police and talking about defunding them, or at least Kamala Harris was, and also posting bail for Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters and rioters. Y'all do know people are going to make the claim, look at the BLM protesters versus President Trump. Not many of them got their doors kicked in by the FBI. It didn't happen. What? It just didn't happen. Meanwhile, President Trump, boom, 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 FBI, open up. I might have to add that sound to my soundboard after all this, because, man, it is really telling. But what's even more telling is when Andrew Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, who decided to get a little...
Go, you know the thing.
...with some staffers and lost his job because of it, is speaking out against what the FBI and DOJ is doing. That's how you know it's getting crazy. Mad Lad Dare Dad is in the building. He says it's all political. Defund the people who serve and protect. Yeah. Adrian says, what are your thoughts on the Republicans should do about the raid? Oh, man. I've seen some pictures of them sending out texts, fundraising on this. Meanwhile, they're doing absolutely nothing about it. So to them, that is a big bet.
Nope. Cause I'm stupid.
You guys need to... You need to get your act together. That's not good. Don't fundraise off of something if you're not going to do anything about it. Trump is the only person who can even begin to fundraise off of it. And even that I'd probably still disagree with, but we all know if he gets elected, he's going to do, or at least should vow to do a lot about what just happened. But now let's check into what Andrew Cuomo said. He says DOJ must immediately explain the reason for its raid, and it must be more than a search or inconsequential archives, or it will be viewed as a political tactic and undermine any future credible investigation or legitimacy of January 6th investigations. Mary Miller says that it was not a raid, it was a lawfully executed search warrant. So even his own people are starting to cannibalize against him. And I say own people because heart progressive. I saw that within a split second. But either way, 5,500 quote tweets. Obviously a lot of people, but whoa. Lauren Boebert says, can someone check hell and tell me if it is frozen over? I never thought I'd agree with anything with something this creep said. Lauren Chin says, I just unironically liked an Andrew Cuomo tweet. Tim Young says, Andrew Cuomo gets it, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Somebody says, what is wrong with you? Yeah, obviously, when Andrew Cuomo is starting to get loves from Lauren Boebert and Lauren Chen, we are entering in an interesting place. People are really starting to think the Twilight Zone is freezing over. That's a double entendre of different phrases there, but we're inside a frozen Twilight Zone right now if Andrew Cuomo is saying stuff that we're all agreeing with. Arkeithia says, I am truly tired of all this crap. I can tell you with certainty I am as well. Adrian says, what are your thoughts? Oh, I already read that one. B. Single Decker says, you're a good kid. Keep it up. Restore faith in our youth. Definitely will do. Thank you guys so much. We're at 41 likes, so let's keep it going in the building. We've got more to jump into because now we have to see what other people who are perfectly on brand are saying about this raid. We had Andrew Cuomo and Andrew Yang saying, with Andrew Yang, kind of something you'd expect. He's always been sort of level-headed, but Andrew Cuomo saying something really wild, which we all agree with, and we're all like, what? We can't believe it. Thicker says, Andrew Cuomo, hide your grannies.
Go, you know the thing. Rub my leg down.
Yeah, that's a true one right there. I can laugh at that, but that's also kind of sad. Thickris, you should be ashamed of yourself for that one. You should be. Shout out to Alvin Fleet over on Rumble. He says, good job today, Chandler. Thank you so much. And of course, my folks still over on Gitter. But let's check in. And also, I only found out about all this because Trump was posting a Truth Social about it. So word up to Trump on Truth Social for that one. Alt Tech really is doing the job. You guys should join up over there. Anyways, Nancy Pelosi, she obviously has something to say. She responded to the FBI raid on Trump's resort and says, no person is above the law. It's what we expect Nancy Pelosi to say, so let's read this. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Tuesday responded to a group of FBI agents breaching President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida on Monday. Pelosi told Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie that she doesn't know very much about the unannounced raid and that the only information she currently has is in the public domain. I, as others learned on my phone, that had happened, Pelosi said. I'm sure that information will be revealed, and when it does, we'll find out what they were looking for. It seems it had something to do with presidential documents. The FBI issued a search warrant approved by U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart, who we're going to read a bit more about in a minute. On August 5th, court records show, Reinhart issued the order in response to multiple requests, including a warrant for electronic communications suspected to be relevant to an ongoing criminal investigation. Yada, yada, yada do. Kevin McCarthy says Attorney General Garland, preserve your documents and clear your calendar, which is a good thing for him. Pelosi responded that whatever McCarthy is saying is probably idle, adding that she believes Democrats are going to win the House in the 2022 midterms, referencing what's happening with Roe v. Wade and legislation Democrats are passing. But nonetheless, we believe in the rule of law. That's what our country is about, Pelosi said regarding the FBI search. And no person is above the law. Not even the President of the United States. Not even a former President of the United States. Although the President is above the law, if we're talking about Joe Biden and his family, Hunter Biden. The FBI has declined to comment on the raid. The DOJ has not returned an inquiry. A White House official told the Epoch Times in an email it is not notified of the raid before it took place. Trump announced in a statement on August 8th that his Mar-a-Lago estate was under siege and occupied by a group of FBI agents. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, confirmed with CNN late on Monday that the FBI seized documents from the former president's Florida estate. Earlier this year, Trump returned more than a dozen boxes of records kept at the Mar-a-Lago resort to the National Archives. Laura Trump, the former president's daughter-in-law, said on Fox News on August 8th that everyone from my father-in-law's team has been cooperating with the FBI with any authority that asks for anything up until now, noting that there was no need for an unannounced raid. And yet it happened. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden is being exposed in pictures, weighing crack, arguing with hookers. You can hear about it in songs, whatever it may be. And he's still walking the streets. No FBI raid on his home, wherever he's living. I don't even know where he lives. Lord help me if he's taking up residence in the White House. I have to pause the show briefly to give a shout out to our most recent donor, a new member of the Hall of Heroes, Bill. He says, "You're a good kid. Restore our faith in the youth. Stay humble." Definitely will be. And I'll add you to the Hall of Heroes. Thank you so much for your donation. I'll add you on the left one just to keep Mary up there a little bit longer. But shout out to Bill for joining the Hall of Heroes and supporting the show. I'll do Bill. Oh, whoops. Ooh, cancel. Can I do that? Okay, well, I'm going to have to redo this then. But shout out to Bill. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I just pasted a whole link in there. There you go. Bill S. Big thank you to Bill in the building. And also everybody else who wants to support the show. Like I said, all those options are available down below. Big thank you to Bill and Mary for supporting the show. Shout out to my folks still here on Rumble and Getter. Man, I'm kind of in disbelief right now. Look at all the comments on NTD. Somebody said the insider trader Nancy. How come Hillary and Hunter are still free? Pelosi, you're a liar. Yeah, except her husband, the Clintons, the Bidens, Eric Swalwell, Merrick Garland, Epstein's clients. And the list goes on. Oh, man. Well, of course, before we continue on and see a bit more about what really happened, we gotta see some memes. We cannot go without the memes. This is what Prison Mitch posted. Photos of what the FBI indeed removed from Trump's estate. Diet Coke, pallets of it, and some McDonald's. Man, I'm starving. I could, as unhealthy as it is, I could go for some McDonald's right now. I might have to ask and see if I can go to McDonald's after the show, because I'm craving a hamburger, as President Trump would say it. I don't even think Joe Biden would know how to pronounce the word hamburger. Just like I'm failing to pronounce things tonight. Just so hungry. But look at the FBI shirts too. Diet Coke, look at that. That is truly hilarious. I think there's some more too, but there is a screenshot of Trump's statement there. It just says, haha, wasn't it Dr. Pepper though? No grease stains on the bags, mighty suspicious. I guess, yeah, it's probably planted bags in if there's no grease stains on it. That's true. We gotta hear this though, because people asked Colonel Jean-Pierre if there was any evidence of maybe there was some, government involvement in this, and once again, she declines it. But this is a different thing. Press Sec declines to answer when asked if the Biden administration is weaponizing the Justice Department and the FBI against political opponents. Let's hear this.
Throughout his time in office.
I heard the quote. We will be playing the quote tonight at 6 o'clock. Is this administration weaponizing the Justice Department and the FBI against political opponents?
Peter, the president believes in the rule of law. The president believes in the independence of the Department of Justice.
That's a yes or no.
No, that is, no, it's a yes or a no for you. I'm answering the question. You may not like it, but I'm answering the question. And No, I'm answering the question and I'm telling you that we are not going to
So
comment
stupid.
on a criminal investigation. The president has been very clear. I laid out what his thoughts were back on January 7th.
And just to once again really outline how Joe Biden does have to indeed feel about Karine Jean-Pierre.
And you ain't black.
She's lying to us, folks, and it's just like, I will not comment on that. Like, if you've got nothing to say, you might as well say you've got nothing to say at all. If you know it's the truth, why even try to deny it? Well, let's dig a bit more into who is indeed directly responsible about this. We have to know who's about this. The judge who okayed Mar-a-Lago raid is an Obama donor who was once linked to Jeffrey Epstein.
It's no use!
What are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? This keeps getting better and better. As we dig further and further into the truth, we realize it is indeed a deep state cabal responsible for each and every issue that President Trump and the American people are having to run into to this day. To this day. The Florida federal magistrate, who signed off on a search warrant authorizing the FBI raid of former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, donated to Obama's 2008 presidential campaign months after he left the local U.S. Attorney's office to rep employees of convicted Jeffrey Epstein, who had received immunity in the long-running trafficking investigation. Sources tell the Post that Judge Bruce Reinhart approved the warrant that enabled federal agents to converge on the palatial South Florida estate on Monday in what Trump called an unannounced raid on my home. Reinhart was elevated to magistrate judge in March 2018 after 10 years in private practice. That November, the Miami Herald reported that he had represented several of Epstein's employees, including, by Reinhart's own admission to the outlet, Epstein's pilots, his schedulers Sarah Kellen, and Nadia Marcinikova, who Epstein once reportedly described as, I'm not even reading that. Kellen and Marcinikova were among Epstein's lieutenants who were granted immunity as part of a 2007 controversial deal with federal prosecutors that allowed the pervert to plead guilty to state charges rather than federal charges. Epstein wound up serving just 13 months in county jail and was granted work release. According to the Herald, which cited court documents, Reinhart resigned from the South Florida U.S. Attorney's Office on New Year's Day 2008 and went to work for Epstein's cohorts the following day.
Stop the cap.
Dude, what are we doing? Epstein, who was found dead in 2019 of an apparent suicide in the Manhattan Correctional Center while awaiting trial on charges, had hired a stable of high-powered lawyers for his defense in the late 2000s, including former independent counsel Ken Starr. 10 months after starting work for Epstein's co-conspirators, according to Federal Election Commission records, Reinhart gave $1,000 directly to the Obama campaign and another $1,000 to its fundraising arm, the Obama Victory Fund. Though the records show the judge made mostly small dollar donations to his law firm's political action committee, in subsequent years, Reinhart also donated $500 to Jeb Bush's 2016 presidential campaign in November of 2015. Reinhart was later named in a civil lawsuit by two of Epstein's victims that accused him of violating Justice Department policies by switching sides in the middle of the Epstein investigation, suggesting he had spilled inside information about the probe to build favor with the notorious defendant, the Herald reported in 2018. There's so much more history, and I don't even want to read any more of it, but wow, this dude is dirty. This dude is dirty. And he's the one who suddenly has all the power to be like, yeah, you want to raid Trump? Go do it. Go do it. He snaps his fingers and it happens. The former president of the United States, who is already an enemy of the deep state, the current administration, the House half majority, the Senate, actually the House majority, the Senate half, all these people, and he's got the power to snap his fingers and be like, yeah, run up in his house. He may or may not be there, but run up in his house and take documents upon documents. 15 whole stacks of them. 15 cases. We just gotta act like it's all okay. It's all okay. Wilderness Music says, is Trump the most investigated president in the history of our country and not found guilty each time? I think you might be right, ladies and gentlemen. He's got off scot-free over and over again. He's been investigated countless times and gotten past it because seems like the man could do no wrong. I mean, who has been investigated this? Like, think about it like this. Sometimes you can be investigated. They can plant evidence. They can do all this different stuff. He must have had people in there that have, scrubbed some of the bad stuff that they may have planted, if they planted anything, but there's no way you can be investigated this many times and not have something crop up that's be like, well, whether it's true or not, President Trump must be he can't be acquitted by the Senate, he must be fully impeached and convicted. Like, they could have done that. but there was nothing solid that anybody could put him on, aside from bogus random impeachments that the House was going to do. And I guarantee in 2025, when the 118th Congress comes in, that we need to impeach Joe Biden, because we have ruined what it means to be impeached, so we might as well do it whenever we please, because I'd say we bring it up. Trump got impeached once in, 2019? And then again in 2021? I might as well give Biden some impeachments in 2025 and 26 before he has to walk out of office. I think it needs to happen. Or no, 2023 and 2024. My year's all wrong, but I'd say it needs to happen. What do you guys believe? I think so.
Yep.
Mad Lads is the way to go, Bill. Shout out to Bill who donated to the chat. Jeff Bogue says Hunter Biden is definitely above the law. Mad Lad Ultra Dare Dad says Ultra Mega.
Ultra mega.
So very true. KN Native says President Trump has been elected twice. He will be elected 3 times. Will the steal derail his presidency again? It definitely derailed 2020, but God is on the throne. I believe so. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens come 2024, but I think a lot of people believe that, man, this stuff is really going to help propel him over the ledge. This is big. Like, this is really big. Their dad says she was still drunk, probably talking about Nancy Pelosi. Honestly, where do you guys stand on all this? I'm going to take another quick check with Grand Old Memes to see if he's posted any more hilarious stuff. I was checking through his feed earlier today, and I haven't seen anything quite yet, but who knows? Who knows what, oh my gosh. Oh, man. Look at this. Bruce Reinhardt says, we ended up this hurricane for the beginning of football season, sitting on my back patio, protected by Kevlar screens that are bolted down. Talking about the hurricanes, obviously, as a Florida resident. I'm sure the judge took this matter very seriously. The judge. And, gosh. This is terrible. This is amazing, though. It's amazing, but it's terrible. This is, obviously, Mr. What is his name again? Bruce Reinhardt, photoshopped on the painting of, Bill Clinton in a dress? This is amazing stuff. This is amazing right here with the double stuffed Oreos. I'm so hungry, folks. Somebody else made the image. The people marked their homes in hopes that the FBI would pass over them. That's a good one. That's a biblical one right there, talking about one of those stories. And I know, I can't think of the name of the story, but I know they painted their homes to avoid the locusts that would come and kill your firstborn son. I might be mixing the stories up, but I think that's the story they're talking about. So they're remixing that to be like, if you want to avoid getting raided, make sure you paint your house blue with the Democrat seal on it, just to make sure they don't come and get you, which I think is true. And then there's Xi Jinping, which is actually talking about the story of which Nancy Pelosi called China one of the freest societies in the world. We'll cover this one real quick since we have a little bit of extra time on our hands since we've been going through the story so fast today. You guys got to hear this.
We still support the one China policy. We go there to acknowledge the status quo is what our policy is. There was nothing disruptive about that. It was only about saying China is one of the freest societies in the world. Don't take it from me. That's from Freedom House.
Let's
it's
talk
a strong
a little bit.
democracy,
Yeah.
courageous people, and it's just, I don't know why it is, except there's some commercial interests who would like to diminish the relationship. We still...
Once again, I have to ask, ladies and gentlemen.
What are we talking about?
Dude, what? Now, I'll give her the slight benefit of the doubt and say, oh, maybe she was talking about the Republic of China, which is the country name of Taiwan. Well, then maybe she's got that. But you should probably be a little bit more clear if you're speaking on, I don't know, NBC News, which is a very major cable network. You're talking about your Taiwan trip. You're talking about all this madness. China's going to be very heavily involved. I mean, China literally directly threatened you. And, good on you for being like, forget it. I'm still going there. I'll be the first one to say, round of applause for Nancy Pelosi for standing up in the face of China. But we also know that saying things like this, not being very clear, and also having quite a few deals with China like Nancy Pelosi does, makes you look a whole lot more like this. Kenya Native says the memes are on fire. I agree. And Nancy Pelosi's probably on fire too in some way, shape, or form with how she's just letting it happen. She's bowing allegiance to China. I can't say this stuff enough. Kiss him. I see what your name is. Kissa says, Freedom House says otherwise. I know what you're talking about. Good job with the name. You almost got me. People always try to get streamers to say, to derail their streams like that, but I got you this time. Alvin Fleet says, nice Blexit shirt, by the way. You're right. It's the Passover story. Thank you guys so much on the Blexit shirt. It was just in my closet. I was like, it's very comfortable. I'm a rock it. We also have our own merchandise, though, which I'd say does slightly beat out the Blexit Brexit stuff. If you guys want to check that out, let me direct you just to where you guys can find that just over at chandlercrump.com/merch. And once you head over to the website and once it loads, you'll be able to see all of our merchandise options for you guys to purchase right now about all the things happening in the world, whether it be some of these gas prices or some of the stuff about Joe Biden, Dr. Fauci. This one's a personal favorite of mine right now. The the real BLM, which is just Biden loves minors, and you take a close look. It says, "Hello, my name is Pedo Peter." This is the Biden administration for you folks. It's truly insane. So you guys wanna get your hands on all that stuff. Make sure you check the description or visit the link I just threw in the chat for you guys to check it out. I'll throw it on Rumble as well for all my folks in the building, and Gitter too, because I know we've got a widespread this evening. So yeah, that's where we are. Trump invaded by the FBI. Thankfully, he wasn't there, although I'm sure the FBI would have loved to put Trump in cuffs if he attempted to resist. I don't even know if they had the permission to do that, or if they would have been like, let us get everything you have, and we're going to take it away. 15 cases of documents. Just insane stuff, truly. I cannot believe it, but man, I'm sure it's only going to get worse from here. This is why we need to turn things around come November. And as much as Nancy Pelosi believes, yeah, you guys are not getting the House come the midterms. Nancy Pelosi believes the Democrats are going to hold on to it, and she probably thinks they're even going to get the Senate. But I've seen some of the numbers. The gas prices, the inflation, not to mention the Inflation Reduction Act, what they've said about the, I don't know, Roe v. Wade, whatever it may be, the Democrats have made pretty much every single misstep they can. And this is going to be yet another one for them, electorally speaking. Even if they didn't make it themselves, the FBI raiding Trump's house, even if you could say, it was about the documents, and it was Bruce Reinhart that made the choice, and we didn't do it. It's still going to look like we are messing up, and we are persecuting a major political figure in Trump. It's not going to look good for them. So I'd say come this midterms in November, and we're already seeing what's the word I'm looking for? A big wave of Trump-endorsed candidates that are taking away their primaries, including just one today in Washington's 3rd Congressional District. Joe Kent just finally surpassed Jamie Herrera and is more than likely going to be the pick come November in Washington's 3rd Congressional District against the Democrat. It's going to be great. These Trump-endorsed candidates are winning in landslides, and come later this month in Florida, it's going to get even better. So I'm really excited to see that. But it's time we finally switch gears and talk about something else, because, man, this FBI story couldn't get any crazier. But for now, that's all we've got on that front. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to dig in just a little bit more. Something I saw from Jane Zirkle. She is still out there on the field just 15 minutes ago, posting a few more images. I want to give you guys another image of what the Trump wave truly looks like, because this is a president who has not set foot in the White House in over a year. We're coming up on 2 years now. He's not been president, yet he still has this strong of support. Just to show you guys that we're on a good path. We're on a good path. So look at this. All these ladies and folks out here in the building, or I guess outside, trumped up on their bumper stickers with Trump flags. Latinos for Trump in the building. Somebody's got the Cuba flag. Beautiful. Just beautiful. People running for their very own offices. Somebody's got a screw Biden flag and screw you for voting for him. Just hilarious stuff. It truly is. Everybody's still out there in the streets saying things. Man supporting President Trump outside Mar-a-Lago following the FBI raid says he is staying here until the mainstream media talks about the Hunter Biden laptop. People are making their waves, making their voices heard, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Somebody's got a Trump 1 flag. It's gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. So shout out to all the people down there. If they're still going on down there, I may have to come down there myself and see how things look. But either way, it's time to change gears, because this next story it's crazy in a different way. It really is. So y'all hold on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We've got to take another quick break to hear another ad from our sponsor. But this next story is insane. Los Angeles School District is sharing video from a trans activist who is posting explicit photos. This is being shared by a school district. You're not going to want to go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hey, freethinkers. Chandler here, and man, I'm sure your day-to-day life leaves you just as, if not more tired than me. So why not elevate your night's sleep? Pillows, blankets, sheets, mattresses. As you can hear by me droning on in the background, the list of my pillow products is long and varied, and sometimes, dare I say, ridiculous. But it all goes towards an amazing cause, all the while giving you the best night's sleep in the whole wide world. Go to mypillow.com and use code CRUMP, that is code CRUMP, for your very own discount today. Now, let's get back to the show. So this is some really good stuff right here. You want to get yourself a MyPillow, make sure you're holding it upright for the camera. Go to mypillow.com and use code CRUMP. They have also launched a brand new product, which I will be cutting an ad for soon. But if you go to mystore.com and use code CRUMP, you'll visit this landing page and you can get your very own discount on Mike's brand new coffee. So yes, you can go to sleep on a MyPillow in your MyPillow mattress on some MyPillow sheets under a MyPillow comforter and get out of bed, slide your feet into some comfortable MyPillow slippers, go downstairs to your kitchen or wherever your kitchen is, and brew yourself up a nice warm cup of coffee, which is also by Mike Lindell. This is an ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, which you need to get your hands on. So make sure you go to mystore.com and use code CRUMP to get your coffee today. This is some good stuff right here, folks. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm sure the first time I ever do drink coffee, I'll probably pick up some my coffee and test it out live on stream. I'll probably think it's disgusting. It's more of an acquired taste, but either way, I'm excited to get into it. But now, something I'm not quite as excited to jump into, but Daredad says, I wish I could buy MyPillow in Australia. I'm pretty sure it ships to Australia, right? If it doesn't, I'll have to check in about that. I may have to ask my folks, but I am sure you can get a MyPillow in Australia. I know they ship to Europe and other places, so they should be able to ship to Australia. Nothing wrong with that. But anyways, let's jump into that. Los Angeles School District shares video from a trans activist who is posting explicit pictures. And yeah, this is... Yeah. Yeah,
What are we talking about?
What? Your guess is as good as mine. Apparently this is the person right here. The Los Angeles Unified School District highlighted a social media video from a trans activist who frequently posts explicit content and advertised an event hosted by a transgender adult performer. The Los Angeles Unified School District Human Relations, Diversity, and Equity Department posted a video on Instagram from a trans activist who posts explicit pictures of that person. The account associated with the district shared a video titled Smarter in Seconds, which taught viewers to ask people for their pronouns, with one person saying that he identified with the pronouns they dim. It goes on to claim that you can't look at someone and know their gender or pronouns. The video was originally posted by Addison Rose Vincent, a trans activist who runs an organization called Break the Binary. On Vincent's Instagram, the same one that was reposted by the nation's second largest school district, are explicit pictures of himself. I am going to be careful in looking at this, because I don't want to show anything crazy, so I'm going to make sure there's nothing insane here. Wow, okay, I'm just going to scroll on past that. Vincent is the founder and CEO of an organization called Break the Binary. The organization seeks to challenge the two-option culture we live in and provides workshops, consulting, and keynote speeches. A bill that is currently making its way through the California legislature would mandate that health professionals undergo transgender cultural competency classes from transgender activists like Vincent, giving them a financial windfall. The LA Unified School District has been at the forefront of the push to groom children. The district encouraged teachers to celebrate the Transgender Day of Visibility by reading pro-trans books to students in elementary school. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. And here's an image right here of their little infographic. Read a book with a trans or non-binary character for your class. Have your students colored pages to learn more about transgender and non-binary trailblazers and activists. Have announcements introducing transgender figures throughout the day. Have a school-wide door decorating contest. Have your students create PSA art to display at school. Have announcements introducing transgender trailblazers. Oh my gosh. They're teaching this history just as much, if not more, than they're teaching black history. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't learn about all too many people in elementary school. I learned about Mary McLeod Bethune and Frederick Douglass and maybe a few other major names, but they're trying to have us learn about whatever random transgender people that made history too, which is insane. Yeah. Okay, Daredad says can only get a MyPillow through Amazon, and I hate Bezos found it on eBay. Haha, can't get MyPillow in Australia. Okay, that's good. I would prefer you get it on mypillow.com, but hey, whatever works. I guess I don't think you can use code Crump over on eBay, but still. The district has also hosted an LGBT club for 4-year-olds and held a meeting with Bianca Salvetti, a nurse practitioner at the Children's Hospital of LA's Trans Youth Health and Development Department. Breitbart previously revealed that the district had teamed up with an organization called Open Books, which donates books that endorse child transgenderism to schools. The LAUSD Human Relations, Diversity, and Equity Department did not return a request for comment. 0101 says this is just plain wrong. Wildness says Biden and the Democrats are on purpose destroying America. It is their goal to bankrupt us and then use this to claim all power over us. They are not stupid or making bad decisions. Yeah, a lot of people have argued that this is all on purpose, and I cannot even say that I don't believe in that. I can't. I really can't. David Lopez says, stay strong, channel. I'm trying my best to stay strong. I think we all do. We really all do at this point with everything that is going on. So that is the message I bring to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is making things look terrible, yet at the same time very good. Whether it be LA and their transgender grooming that they're planning to do, or the FBI raiding the home of a former president for documents. November is going to be very interesting. These primaries are already getting very interesting. Someone was mentioning something about a runoff, and I think they were talking about Washington 3. So we could still see what happens over there. But either way, Trump-endorsed candidates are winning with landslides. Kerry Lake and Blake Masters in Arizona. A few other people in other states I can't quite think of right now. But it's looking very good. November is going to be just as interesting to look at as the establishment GOP seems to be getting sidelined at every turn. We'll still have to see what happens as time goes forward. But either way, that is your update for this evening. We'll be back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for Wednesday's edition of the Chandler Brief. We're going to have so many more stories to jump into. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's tuned into the show tonight. Once again, a huge shout out to all the people who have donated to support the show, Mary and Bill. If you're seeing the stream afterwards, you can still donate to support the show. Even while I am not live, you'll be shouted out on the next available show we do, so that may be tomorrow or Thursday or whatever show comes immediately after you donate. I make sure to read as many of your messages on stream as I can, but if you have questions or anything and you don't see me read it, you can do so, circumvent that all by donating on our description option below, or also on Cash App. You can also be completely anonymous, just make sure you mention it in your donation, and I'll avoid reading your name out loud. Aside from all that though, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence. Peace.
Into the light we go.